Well, good afternoon, VC. It's a hot Saturday afternoon. I figured I'll stay inside, and since I'm inside, I figure I'll make some more videos. At least one more, maybe more. And today, I think what I'll do is show off what vinyl I have in my XTC collection. So I'll show you my LPs, and then my singles. And playing a little Passport in the background. But anyway, we're gonna get right to it. Starting off with the 3D EP. All right, this is a not an original copy. This is a re-release, but I picked this up brand new. I think I got this from Cheap Thrills in New Brunswick, New Jersey, years and years ago. So you can see that it's got the green and red labels. I believe the original had the old blue Virgin Records label. And as a matter of fact, the 3D EP at the very end of the second side is a little blurb that they put on after the second song. It's a little musical passage on xylophone or vibraphone or something, and I think it might be Terry Chambers who says, "Good night, sucker." This little blurb has not shown up anywhere else. It's the only place you can get it, I believe, is on this 3D EP. So if you don't have a copy of this, you would probably never hear that. Good night, sucker. All right. So, oops. All right, here's their very first album, White Music. This is an import pressing from England. I think all my pressings are imports, British imports, and nothing too special about it. I don't believe the original came with any kind of special insert. Since I got into XTC with drums and wires, maybe this isn't an original pressing, I'm not sure. But anyway, it is a British pressing. And I got it brand new, it's in mint shape. No special insert. All right. And then, actually, I think the next release after this album was this record called Guillotine. It's a Virgin various artists record. It's got the Motors on it, Penetration, Table, Avant-Gardener, Rocky Erickson is on here, Poet and the Roots, X-Ray Specs too. But there's a XTC track on here. It's a live version of Traffic Light Rock, which I don't believe that's available anywhere else. I don't even know if they've ever included this on one of their box sets, but probably have actually. But I don't know. Anyway, Then there's this. Oh, this is Go To, and this is the album cover. And I think this was Hypnosis that came up with this album cover. And XTC, didn't think anything of it, but XTC loved it. So what they did was they took the concept and oops. This is actually a domestic copy. Yeah, this is an American pressing of the Go To album. As you can see by looking at the label. And this is comes with this insert. Okay. There's the group right there. And comes with a little map of Swindon, I think. Pull that back. There's your legend, your guide. There's a little poem in there. It's got some pictures. And so this is the domestic copy that I have of this release. Ay, ay, ay. So I'll put this back. Here we go. Here's the import copy that I have. Oh. And what I liked about the Go To concept is they carried it over on the British imports. I mean, Virgin Records. They seem to spare no expense when they're putting together the product itself. Maybe they didn't promote it, I guess. I know that Andy had issues with Virgin Records at times, but on this particular release, the concept was carried over to the record label itself. So you get this great writing on the record label. No real design other than the actual label itself. And it's just, oops, that was upside down. But anyway, this is the actual label itself. So they just tell you about the label and tell you, they give you all the legal jargon as well. Here's the B-side, which again follows the whole concept. And apparently the inner sleeve on some copies, I guess some early copies, also continue with that concept. It actually says this is the inner bag or something like that. That I don't have, and I wish I did. What's cool about this album as well is you can see there's a little chunk taken out of here. Some of the words, it's just like, it looks like a pressing mistake, but that's not the case. What they did was, let's see if I can show you this. What they did was they included the information, just a corner of it, on their little insert. So what you're supposed to do, let me see if I can show you this. What they did was they made it so that it matches up like this. And you're supposed to be able to, it's like a little puzzle there. So you can read the credits. And what they did was they put the catalog number very cleverly on the insert at the bottom here. And what's great is the text explains everything that it's doing. So, and of course the catalog number's on the bottom of the album jacket as well. So anyway, that is what they did, and I thought that that was really sharp, really brilliant idea. Let's put this back. Put this back. Okay. When this album was originally released, it came with an EP, the Go Plus EP. And the Go Plus EP was this little package was packed with it, and it's got 5 extra songs. Actually, they're kind of dub mixes or of tracks that were on Go 2. So play it loud or not at all, it says. John Lucky produced this. All right, so there you go. There's the A side. There's the B side. 5 tracks that Andy reconfigured for this little EP. And anyway, so that's the Go Plus EP. Of course, after they released Go 2 and Go Plus, they put out this little masterpiece. And this, of course, is Drums and Wires. Everybody knows that. This was my introduction to the band. I picked this up from a store in Somerville, New Jersey called Ostro's. It was a camera shop that sold records. And they had lots and lots of cool imports. And this was sitting there. And I saw that little sticker and said, oh, I want a free single. And so this is actually the original copy that I bought. And of course it's got the this is the original label. First copies came with the same regular Virgin Records label. And this was a nice package because it came with this lyric sheet. Came with this insert. Okay, you got this picture. It's got some credits down here that Andy wrote. It talks about Jethro Tull recording in the same studio, and here's the other side of that. Here's all the lyrics for Drums and Wires. And okay, yep, and as a matter of fact, here's the free single that came with it, with Limelight and Chain of Command. But I got this thing in here, it's like a vault. I don't know why I sealed it up so tight. There's your free single. And here's Limelight. And the lyric sheet has the lyrics to the two songs that came on this single as well. So you get all the lyrics. And I'm going to put this back. And what's great about that lyric sheet is to get you to buy the first two albums, if you didn't already buy them. It includes the lyrics for the first two albums as well. So, there you go. If you open it up, and here's all the lyrics. Not only did it include the lyrics for the albums, but there are some B-sides, non-album tracks on the B-sides of the singles from those two records, and it includes the lyrics from them too, like Heatwave. So anyway, that was my introduction to XTC, and what a nice way to start off with a bunch of bonus stuff. And it's, you know, I bought right into it, man. I went out and got those other two albums, and it actually took me a while to get a copy of Go 2 with the Go Plus EP. But I did score that, obviously. Anyway, put this back, and seal it up. In America, they were starting to pay a little bit of attention to, they started to notice the attention that XTC was getting, and what they did was they released a copy. This is actually obviously it's a promotional copy with this ugly strip on the front. And and it's funny because the track listing on the back is incorrect. This is like the British release. The American release came with a lyric insert, but just for the one album. And it starts with "Life Begins at the Hop." Of course, the British LP doesn't have that song. It does have the lyrics for it though. But the American release came with a free single as well, although it's actually an EP. It's got Limelight. Let's see. Yeah, it's got Limelight on side 1, and on side 2 it's got Day In, Day Out, which they took off the LP because they wanted to make room for Life Begins at the Hop. And then it's got Chain of Command on it as well. So anyway, that's a rare bonus single for America. And this is actually Virgin Records and well, Virgin Records, yeah, distributed by Atlantic. So that's who released this in America. And all right. So after that came out, after Drums and Wires, Andy put this little package together. Take away the lure of salvage. And this kind of like continues that concept of Go Plus, where he took original tracks of XTC songs, and he messed around with those tapes and added overdubs and kind of made special recordings that he included on this record. There's your special label, Take Away. The Lure of Salvage. So this is, I don't know how rare this actually is. I know some people see it and they go, what the hell is that? But because I got involved with XTC right around this time period and I saw this record, I said, oh shit, I have to have a copy of that. So that is this. There's nothing else in here. Just there's no inserts. Just this wacky cover and back cover. And it's funny because the front cover it's almost like that's Drums and Wires, and then the back cover, he just takes marker and just starts scribbling stuff out. It's kind of like what he did with the music. He took some of the music from Drums and Wires, and actually from the previous 2 LPs, I think, as well, and he altered them and put this record out. If you like Go Plus, then this record weighs approximately the same amount, and that's very true. Cover design by Pierce Marchbank and Andy Partridge. And this came out in 1980. Okay. XTC went back into the studio, went to Townhouse, and put out this little album here. Now Black Sea, okay, this is an original import pressing of Black Sea, and somehow I managed to hold on to this stupid green bag, which looks like absolute shit now. This is actually a German pressing. For some reason, I don't think I got a UK pressing. I think I got this German pressing. Anyway, as you can see, they spell out XTC. XTC. Black Sea. And came with this lyric insert. And here's the label. They, for some reason, they didn't stick with the green and red label. They have a white label with a brown Virgin signature there. There it is. You can see it's a little bit different than the UK release. This came out in 1980, I guess, after Andy put his little record out there. It's a great album. Anybody who knows XTC knows it is. I went to see them tour that year and picked up this poster. Jesus. Okay. And when I was standing there, I was looking around. I went to see him at Rutgers University. I was looking around and I saw Terry standing in the back of the place. So I quickly bought this poster and I said, Terry, would you sign my poster for me? So here's the signature. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually very, very light. But there it is. Right under his head. So, thank you, Terry, for signing my poster. And of course, I ruined it by folding it. Here's a copy of the flyer to advertise the show. Whoops. I can't see. Everything's backwards in my phone. I don't know why. But anyway, that was April 13th. Monday, April 13th at the Rose Room. What a great show. To meet the drummer, he's just standing around in the back. And then I pointed it out to my sister and my brother who were with me. And Terry was kind enough to let me smoke one of his Winston cigarettes. Not being a smoker, that was kind of weird, but he was so cool, man. He was just standing there, and we talked about the plays and talked about the album, talked about touring for 2 seconds. And I think Terry was looking for a little action. I really do. But anyway, he was really a gentleman, a real nice guy. And that was my 15 minutes of a moment with XTC. So, put this back. Here's a Canadian copy that came in a nice black plastic bag. And I'm not going to pull the album out, but I did get a copy of the tour book as well, which is loaded with all kinds of cool stuff. I think there's a lot of these around. Should have just had Terry sign my book. But anyway, nice. Okay. Then in Japan, somebody thought of putting something like this out. It's a weird release, man, because it's got, well, that's nice. It's got the B-sides from Generals and Majors, which was a double single, so there's 3 songs on there from that. And it's got a couple of other tracks. It's got B-sides from the singles from that, from the UK singles. Anyway, Scissor Man, which is a BBC track, another live track. Those 2 tracks are B-sides from Generals and Majors. Set Myself on Fire was a B-side from Towers of London, and that one too. There's actually a couple missing, a couple of B-sides missing. This didn't include everything, but it included a lot of stuff. And I love Japanese product because they're just beautiful. They're beautiful. These guys, such quality stuff. Pressing is super quiet, mint shape. It kind of looks like a big 45, which really is. I can't remember now if this is 33 or 45, but I haven't played it in so long. But anyway, I did play it several times, and it's in mint shape. So in this package comes with an insert with all the lyrics. It's got some text in Japanese, but it's got lyrics in English. All right, as you can see there. So it's nice. So I picked up 2 copies. I figured it was going to be really, really valuable, and actually I think it's actually pretty common. Well, it is in my collection anyway because I got 2 copies. So let me put this back. Classic shot. Okay. Here it is, another copy. In Canada, they said, oh, let's put another piece of vinyl out. So what did they do? They put out 5 Senses. This is exclusive to Canada, I believe. And 5 Senses had 5 new songs. Smokeless Zone, Officer Blue, which was a B-side to Respectable Street. Wait Till Your Boat Goes Down, which was an A-side from Drums and Wires. Then Don't Lose Your Temper, and Strange Tales, Strange Tales. So there's some overlap with this Japanese thing, but if you got the Japanese release and you got this, you would have, you would have all the B-sides. And I just played this a day ago, a couple days ago. This is what the label looks like. It's a really weird brown label. All right, you can see some debris on here. But anyway, there's the B-side. Very cool. So Canada got something unique out there, and it's nice. I love the cover. I think that cover is awesome. I love that cover. 5 Senses. And I guess, actually, this might have come out, when was it released? 1980, 81. Yeah, I mean, 5 Senses working overtime. So I guess this might have actually been released after their next album, which is English Settlement, of course. This is a British copy of the album, the double album that they released, and what a great album. Okay, this is upside down, so let's flip it back over this way, and Here's the actually the inner bag for the first record. It's got the lyrics for the sides 1 and 2. Got this nice little picture on the side, on the back. Here's the custom label. Let's pull it out. Custom label. Side 1. Here's side 2. The lyrics for the second record, and here's another bunch of photographs. And of course the custom label for 3 and 4. There's 3. There's 4. I love Virgin Records products, man. I love it. I love what they did. I mean, I don't know. I guess Andy probably had his hand in, I know he had his hand in a lot of the designs of the single covers. Not Statue of Liberty, but all the ones after that. And in fact, I think he hated Statue of Liberty, the picture sleeve of that, so much that's why he got involved in the in some of the design of those records and sleeves. But anyway, see if we can get this back in here without damaging stuff. Like this. Anyway, anybody who likes XTC has got to be familiar with this album. All right. Okay. Here is single for Senses Working Overtime. This is the 12-inch British release. Some cool pictures. It's got Egyptian Solution, the Homo Safari Series number 3, and it's got on the B side Blame the Weather and Tissue Tigers, which are the 2 tracks that are on the 7-inch record. But this is sweet. Then you get this 12-inch single, Ball and Chain. And this is kind of one of those things you're going to want to have if you're a XTC completist collector, because the recording of Heaven is Paved with Broken Glass is unique to the to this record. They remixed that song and put it out on a compilation that came out shortly after this record came out. And never, so far as I know, this version of the song has never been released in any other format, in any, except for maybe the 7-inch single and this 12-inch single. I don't think you can get this anywhere else. It's a unique mix, and it's a great mix. The remix was cool too, but quite different. But for some reason they have never made this mix available, and I don't know why. I think it's actually a little bit longer too. when they ran out of some, I guess because Andy stopped touring, maybe what Virgin decided to do was say, well, maybe we better put some product out. We'll put a greatest hits out. So they put this compilation out. Singles, Waxworks, some singles, and this is actually a really nice compilation. Oh shit, before I even go on to this compilation, I want to show you this. Canada Strikes Again. They put this single out, well, an EP actually, Ball and Chain, and then on the B-side is No Thugs and Punch and Judy. It doesn't have Heaven is Paved with Broken Glass on it. They had, I don't know why they didn't do that. They had a room. This is a neat little record because I don't know if you could see it. It's actually clear. You can actually see through it. It's greenish tint. It's a greenish tint, but it's actually, yeah, I think you can see me through there. See you guys. Anyway, one of their earlier color vinyl records, which is such a dark green color that it's hard to see. But anyway, this was a Canadian release, a Canadian 10-inch record. 10-inch single for the price of a 7-inch single. Limited edition. It's worth $3 million today. Yep, record first published in Canada. So, Polygram Canada put this out. So, all right. Then they released this, in England, they released this wonderful compilation that I was showing you earlier. And this has some custom labels. All right, so you get Science Friction, Statue of Liberty, This Is Pop, Are You Receiving Me, Life Begins at the Hop, Making Plans for Nigel, and Wait Till Your Boat Goes Down. B-side, and you get Generals and Majors, Towers of London, Sergeant Rock, one of Andy's favorite songs, not really, Census Working Overtime, and Ball and Chain. So now they're all caught up with the greatest hits compilation. And when this first came out, the first bunch of copies, oh, you know what? I even kept the hype sticker and put it on this piece of paper. That was on the package. It was sealed with a second LP. Of B-sides. And what do they call it? Beeswax, of course. And here it is, some B-sides. I remember when this came out and I thought, Jesus, how sweet is this beautiful package. And this was back in '82. And again, time I pull out these records, I'm hoping that it's in a position so I can show you right side up, and I always got to twist it around, which takes a whole lot more time. But anyway, there's the beeswax label, and the catalog number for this is OVED 9, which Virgin Records usually uses for when they re-release an album. They use that OVED catalog number, OVED whatever. But anyway, this is great. She's So Square and Dance Band are on here. Hang On to the Night, the B-side of Statue of Liberty. Heat Wave, B-side of This Is Pop. Instant Tunes, Pulsing Pulsing, Don't Lose Your Temper, Smokeless Zone, The Somnambulist, Blame the Weather, Tissue Tigers, Punch and Judy, and Heaven is Paved with Broken Glass. And the mix on here of that last track is a remixed version. I remember listening to this and going, wait a minute, this is very different. And it is. It's very good. But they never did release the original single or EP B-side of that song anywhere else. It's only on the Ball and Chain single. So anyway, there you have it. This compilation. Oops. Oh, I see what I did here. Right. Passport. Next album that came out, Mummer. Mummer's an interesting release because, you know what? Hold on a second. I got to turn it down because I can't even think. But, you know, Andy said, I ain't touring anymore. All right. So they stopped touring. And I think that there was a personnel shift in Virgin Records, and some of the band's allies disappeared. And when they were recording songs for this record, Terry stuck around for at least 2 or 3 songs, and then said, I got to get out of here. You're not touring, so I'm leaving. And they got some other guys to drum. I think Peter Phipps is on here. But anyway, it's kind of a patchwork of songs. It's just a collection of songs. It's kind of a mishmash of styles, which is what I love about this album. It's just this collection of cool songs that Andy and Colin wrote, and they're great songs. There's so many good songs on here. Virgin Records continued the custom labels, thank God. So cool. Here's side 1. Beating of Hearts, Wonderland, Loving a Farm Boy's Wages, Great Fire. Those last 3 songs are all singles from here. Deliver Us from the Elements, great song. And then the B-side has Human Alchemy, great song. Lady Bird, beautiful song. In Loving Memory of a Name, one of my favorite Colin songs off of here. One of my favorite Colin songs probably at all, period. Great song. Me and the Wind, and Funk Papa Roll, which is a great song too. And let me put this back. Yeah, this is a beautiful British import. And has a beautiful insert. Here's one side with their little Mummer outfit. And here's the lyrics and the credits. So there you have it. Transitional record for sure, because there was no real concept to it. It was just a collection of songs, but they're great songs. And then a few singles came out from this record. Great Fire with Gold on the B-side, actually on the A-side on this 12-inch, and the B-side is a couple of songs from the Homo Safari series, Frost Circus and Procession Towards Learning Land. This psychedelic record kind of points to another direction that they're going to be going in shortly. But I love the songs on here and all the B-sides that were included on the CD. And here is Love on a Farm Boy's Wages, another single. Wonderland was never released as a 12-inch, as far as I know, at least not as a stock. Maybe it was a promotional 12-inch, but in England I don't believe they released it as a 12-inch record. Here you have Love on a Farm Boy's Wages on the A side, and then you have some live material on the B side. You got Burning with Optimism's Flame and English Roundabout, and then an instrumental, Cut It Out, which was Scissor Man as an instrumental. Let's see if this has a custom label. I don't know. Let's find out. I can't remember. Yes, it does. Here's your custom label for Farm Boy's Wages. B-side's identical, really. So, oh yeah, I didn't show you Gold, Great Fire and Gold. That has a custom label as well. Let's go back one and check it out. Yeah, I didn't pull it out. A-side and the B-side are identical. But yeah, you gotta love these guys, man, with the custom labels. I love it. I love that. I love Virgin Records for doing that. So, anyway, there you go. Okay. So, their next project, what did they do? They said, you know what, let's be somebody else. And they went psychedelic with this, Dukes of Stratosphere. And this might be, this and the second Dukes of Stratosphere record might be some of the best stuff they've ever released. It's really good stuff. And the custom label that they used was really simply an old Virgin Records label. Okay. One of my favorite songs by these guys is The Mole from the Ministry. Oh, it's almost like it's really sounds a lot like I Am the Walrus. Like they said, you know what, let's do our version of I Am the Walrus, and they did Mole from the Ministry. And beautiful song. My Love Explodes, that's another good song. It's a great 6-song record. I don't know if that's makes it a large EP or a small LP, but at any rate, that's what this is. There's the tracks for those who aren't familiar with it, and if you're not familiar with it, you probably don't know XTC at all, do you? All right, then then those guys, the Dukes went away, and XTC came back, and they released this round record, The Big Express. Now, I think when this album came out, I was like, do I like this record? I'm not sure. This record's grown on me a lot. This is the original British pressing with the round cover. Here's the insert. Here's the tiny little lyrics that it's almost like a CD. They're so small. But they had a lot to say, so I guess that's why they had to make the print so small. And here they are. And the record itself, again, there's a custom label. Both sides. Custom label on both sides. Different label actually on both sides. But this album has I Remember the Sun, one of Colin's jazzier songs, and one of my favorites of his. What a piece of work. That guy is such a great songwriter. Andy's fantastic. Colin's really not as prolific, but just as good, I think. I love Colin's work. So, all right, let's put this away. It's such a delicate cover because it's round, so be careful with it. All right, goes in there. And they put out 3 singles. They put out Wake Up, with Take This Town, which was a single as well, a split single with the Ruts. And then this has some songs that were already released, some hit songs that were already released. There's something in here. Here we go. There was a publication called the Aquarian Weekly that came out, and they had a cover story about the band right around the time this album came out, so you could see them there. I made copies of the article and stuck it in there with this album, or with this single. So anyway, a lot of dead time on my videos, I know, because I'm putting everything back. So you Wake Up. You got This World Over, one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. Super sad tune. And Blue Overall is the B-side. Here's the B-side. There you go. This World Over. We're still hanging in there somehow. We didn't blow each other up yet. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Oh yeah, and then this There's your custom label. Push once, you're never gonna get a second chance, asshole. Right. Of course, I neglected to show you the custom label of this record as well. Here you go. Wake up. Can you see it? I think you can. And the B-side. See, just hits. So we're over an hour, guys. If you're still with me, I'll keep going. I apologize that I am not very good at doing these videos. Nobody watches. And then here's the third single, All You Pretty Girls. Look at me. Hey now. And then here's the B-side, which is Wash Away and Red Brick Dreams. And let's take a look at the label of this one. Sailor's Knot. Sailor's Knot. Same thing on a B-side. Sweet. All right. It takes forever just to put the record back. All right, what did they do? Then they dusted off the Dukes again, and they put this beautiful piece of music out. All right, so this is a British import, and I kept it psychedelic. And you can see that this record is a nice marbleized, purplish, reddish, greenish marble record. I love this. I love it. I love this colored vinyl. Me and Beetle Brad love colored vinyl. Well, Beetle Brad, here's my colored vinyl. I wonder if you got this. I don't know if you're an XTC fan. I would think if you're a Beatle fan, you're going to love XTC, or at least the Dukes. So, anyway, there's that. Mint shape. And it's a gatefold album. Here's the inside with E-I-E-I-O and the gang. Whoa. All right. Here's the B-side. Just, these guys, when they make a concept, they really do it up. They go all out, and I love that. All right, so there's the second Dukes project. And because it's the 80s, because it's the 80s, they, I mean, I don't think there were too many 12-inch singles coming out back when, in 67, 68, but because it's the 80s, the Dukes put out You're a Good Man, Albert Brown. It's a 12-inch record.
Oh, hey, look at the tits.
All right. No non-LP songs on here. In fact, what they did was they included Mole from the Ministry from the previous album and My Love Explodes. And this has Virgin Records, man. Their custom label was the classic Virgin design, but in purple and kind of an orange reddish line. And here they reverse it. And I love them for that. I love them for doing that. It's a great record right here. I'm glad they put Mole on a 12-inch single so you could kind of squeeze the fidelity out of it. Really hear that sound. It sounds great on the original album, but it's nice to have on a 12-inch single, I think. All right, so anyway, we'll put this away back in here. And what came out next? The following year was, as a matter of fact, it was Skylarking. And Skylarking, here's the domestic release. This is, actually it's cut out. You can see there's a saw cut down here. I picked this up after I got the British import. The British import, right here, which has some variations in the colors and the tints. But anyway, here's the British import on Virgin. And it has, this is actually the first track listing, which has, doesn't have Dear God on it, okay? It's got Mermaid Smile, The Man Who Sailed Around His Soul, Dying, and Sacrificial Bonfire, okay? Textured sleeve. I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually a textured sleeve. All these little like colors, you can actually feel them. Okay, and here's the insert, lyric insert. Okay. And here is the custom label for Skylarking. In England, this is how it came out. There's the B-side right there. And so this pressing does not have Dear God on it. But when it got really popular, America said, and it was Geffen Records who released it in America. So Geffen Records said, you know what? I think we want to put Dear God on our album. So why don't we do that? And that is what they did. I think it was Mermaid Smiled that they removed. Yep, Mermaid Smiled was taken off. And you can see toward the bottom there, Dear God is the third one from the bottom. I can even read that backwards. All right. So that's why I picked up this copy, because it was a different track order, and I figured, what the hell? I'm a completist. It's got a Geffen Records label. It's nothing special. so I'm not pulling that out. Here's Grass. With the B-sides Extrovert and Dear God. This is a UK single. And actually, this could have been the Dukes, man, with how psychedelic that label is. Okay, Extrovert and Dear God. Extrovert's a non-album cut. Ended up on Rag and Bone Buffet along with a bunch of other stuff. All right, get this in here. Here's the second of 3 singles that came out. Well, here it is on the A side, folks. Dear God. Ugh. Sweet. Actually, pretty sickening picture. But it does drive the point home, doesn't it? Here's the lyrics. And then the B-sides are Another Satellite. Oh, Big Day is also on here, on the A side. Big Day's LP version. And then the B-side is Another Satellite. It's the BBC recording that I believe is available on that box set that came out. Got these protective sleeves and it makes it really hard to move this stuff in and out. But anyway, here is the custom label for Dear God and Big Day and Another Satellite. Okay, if you want to see all that, I want to show it to you. Right. And then the meeting place. Look at this. Look at this cover. Here's the B-sides. This is a great record to have. It's got 4 demo tracks that ended up all being released on the box set coat of coat of cupboards. The Meeting Place and The Man Who Sailed Around His Soul. And here's the B-side. You can actually see the 4 tracks in the wax itself. See, it's 4 different tracks. But here's the label. Nothing too special about that custom label. But that's what it is. All right, guys, and then there was a 3rd single. Oh no, that was the 3rd single. Okay, and then 89 brought out this gem. Oranges and Lemons is a great record, man. I love it. I know that there's a lot of people who say it's a little bit brash on CD, and some people have issues with this. I thought it was another psychedelic masterpiece, quite honestly. I love it. And it took me a while to get this 2-record set. I bought this. This was when CDs really started to ramp up and come out. So it took me a while to get a copy of this, and this, I believe, is actually a Canadian pressing. Yep, Toronto, Ontario, made in Canada. So I wanted to get a British copy, but I ended up with this Canadian copy instead. Now, I think it's pretty faithful to what was released in England, but you know what I got to do? I got to double check that. Here's the labels. These are the custom Canadian labels, and I don't know if those are similar in design to what was released in England. I got to check out Discogs. It's probably right there on Discogs, and I just never bothered to check. But man, I love having this record, this album on vinyl. This is great, a great album. And there's a couple of different configurations on CD. You got the regular disc, and then you have that little box. I'll have to make another separate video to show you that stuff. But here is the label. Here's the dust on my record. But anyway, so here you have it. Here are the inserts. Colin and Dave and Andy. God, they all look so miserable on these pictures. And this is such an upbeat record for the most part. And here's your lyrics and some of your credits, I guess. Of course. Oh, what a beautiful record, though. I mean, it's just so happy and beautiful and upbeat and just wonderful. And maybe a little overproduced, I guess. That's what a lot of people seem to not like about it. And then they put out Mayor Simpleton as a 12-inch with Ella Guru as a non-album track. Here we go. Here's the label for it. It's nothing that all that special. And then they put out King for a Day as the second single. I believe it was the second single. Here's the cover for that. Check the label out. Yeah, the label's the same. It's the same design as that other one. Now this is a 12-inch mix. I prefer the LP mix. No question that the LP mix is a better mix. When you start jazzing up this other crap, like the way it was remixed, it just kind of sucks, quite honestly. But I have a copy of it. Here is The Loving. And let's see if this label's any different. No, same label as the other guys. All right. Great song though, The Loving. And we get to the last album in the classic years, None Such. And this is a British release. So here's the insert for that. Okay, and here's the lyrics for starting with the first record. And then here's the lyrics for the rest of them. And custom label. Side 1, you can see. And then side 2 has the track listings for both sides. So, all right. And that's basically what you have there for the LP. All right, so I don't have Wasp Star, and I don't have Apple Venus, but I do have this 10-inch record of The Disappointed. Here's your custom label for that. God, that label looks huge, but it doesn't look like if you have an automatic changer it's gonna release. And then you have and here's The Disappointed, and then you have The Smartest Monkeys. I believe that might be no, that's not the demo. Smartest Monkeys and Humble Daisy. I think these, actually, I think they're all from the LP. Yeah, I think so. It's the CD singles that have a whole bunch of demos, and man, the demos are very faithful to what they originally ended up releasing on the LP. Sometimes it's really hard to even really hear the difference. Then again, maybe I didn't really try to hear the difference. I played it once or twice, and I said, but this wasn't one of my favorite albums, I'll be honest. This was a far cry from Drums and Wires. They really did develop into another band. But I've been playing it more recently and have been starting to appreciate it a little bit more. The last thing I have is something I got from Burning Shed, Andy's Apples and Oranges. And what you have are stereo and mono versions of 2 songs. You have Apples and Oranges and Humanoid Boogie. Why they put the same song on both sides, on one side, instead of putting stereo mixes and then mono mixes, I'll never know. That would have been the way to go, so I could listen to the 2 songs in mono, and then I could flip it and listen to them in stereo, and I could check out the differences that way. It would be a lot more, that would have made more sense. But I do like having this record, and I do like the songs. I love Andy's output. This guy's a genius. But anyway, that's what they did. They put Humanoid Boogie, both versions, on one side, and then they put Apples and Oranges on the other side. They should have just put stereo and then mono, and that would have made more sense, I think. Anyway, that is my vinyl collection of LPs. I'll do a separate video of singles, which will probably be a whole lot quicker, and then maybe I'll do my CDs. That'll take about 3 hours. Have a nice day.